Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. If we could, please. Welcome to Sub 3 at 5:07 p.m. Everyone knows the ground rules. We will move with alacrity. If there are big, long lines, we will put a clock on you, but brevity is enjoined at all times. Let's start with, well, okay, some housekeeping. I'm sorry. We will be taking by for the day the following bills. HB 369, 590, 617, 634, 770 we're taking by to February 3rd, and 884 and 898 also to February 3rd, and Bill 1002 by for the day. You're welcome, and we just saved you all an hour at least.
More.
Yeah, I can't promise you won't give it back to me in 2 weeks. This highlights, of course, I've said this before. I'll just say it to all the stakeholders, all the people who are working on bills, all the members who are working on bills, and please tell all your friends who are working on bills, we are not going to be in a position to be taking bills by for the day. We are going to end up with a big pile of bills in the last couple of meetings of this subcommittee if we keep doing so. I've gamed it out. I think we're going to have enough time to get everything done in a reasonable way, but these buy for the day requests are just not going to work any longer. So let's start with, I need a motion to take those bills by for the day.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then I want to, we also are going to incorporate HB 289 and HB 928 into Delegate Krizek's HB 395. I have a motion and a second. This is a recorded vote. Oh, this is voice vote. I'm sorry, this is voice. You're right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so you're getting 3 for the price of 1 there. And let's start with Delegate Krizek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
This is HB 395.
HB 395. I have a substitute for this bill.
You have a substitute?
Got a motion on the substitute. Properly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Substitutes before us. Delegate Krizek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This substitute, by the way, incorporates recommendations from many stakeholders, and there's been many stakeholders working: Dominion, electric co-ops, Virginia Poverty Law Center, and CCCAN has really been the main mover, and I want to thank Victoria Higgins for all the work she's done on this to shepherd this effort. So what this does is it installs what is commonly referred to as balcony solar panels. Utah just passed this law, and it allows individuals to install small, portable solar panels to their balcony or backyard. These solar panels would bring solar to a new group of people who live in homes that are otherwise unsuitable for solar panel installation. Of course, it takes into account local zoning, the ordinances, and whether it's for historic reasons, architectural preservation, corridor protection district, that kind of thing. It allows the panel installation as long as all those ordinances are followed, of course. But with energy prices rising, the cost of living being ever so present in our lives, this legislation will really help us, help Virginians offset their energy bills and expand the use of solar panels in suburbia and in urban areas especially. By passing this, Virginia has the opportunity to become a leader in the country when it comes to solar energy production. And really it's about affordability. And it's about removing red tape too for these small plug-in solar panels. With that, Mr. Chair, I will leave it. There's a lot of experts and a lot of folks who want to testify.
Thank you, Delegate Krizek. Any questions for Delegate Krizek from members of the panel? Seeing none, is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify in favor of HB 395? All right, so you all know the drill. If you're going to be testifying, move as close to the panel, to the podium as you can without getting in the screenshot. And I'm not going to put a clock on you because I know you're going to come in at about 30 seconds, right?
Oh, I can do better.
There we go.
Mr. Chair, Victoria Higgins, Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. We support the bill because it makes clean energy more affordable, more accessible, and more practical for everyday Virginians. Plug-in solar systems are simple, safe, consumer-certified tools that help families offset rising electric bills, especially renters and low and middle-income households who may not otherwise be able to invest in rooftop systems. For those reasons, we support the bill. Thanks very much.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Kristen Dahman, Deputy Secretary of Commerce and Trade with the administration. We strongly support this bill as it gets at the governor's priorities on affordability. We thank the patron for carrying the bill and for everyone's work so far on the bill. So we appreciate everyone moving this forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members of the subcommittee, Josephus Allman with the Southern Environmental Law Center. We support this bill as it will open up access to solar to a group of folks who have been unable to access it so far, making our clean energy transition more equitable. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Thomas Turner with Conservatives for Clean Energy. We support the bill and thank the patron on his leadership.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Ryan O'Toole of Freedom, Virginia. We support the bill as a key way to get the most affordable form of energy generation out to people's homes. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Blair St. Ledger Olson for the Virginia League of Conservation Voters, and for the reasons previously stated, we support. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Helen Sharp with Americans for Prosperity, and we're supporting this bill. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, I'm Wendy Ginsburg from the City of Alexandria, and we don't have a lot of room for solar panels. We don't have a lot of room for windmills. We are very thankful to have this opportunity to help make the Commonwealth energy more reliable and affordable for our citizens. So thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Jim Purical from Advanced Energy United. We support this bill as well because we think it can act as a gateway for other solar rooftop solar advocates. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Chris Lane with South Cliff Strategies on behalf of Piedmont Environmental Council. We support this bill.
I was about to ask,
Mr.
are you
Chairman,
here for or against?
Neither.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Dana Wiggins with the Virginia Poverty Law Center. We really appreciate Delegate Krizek and Victoria working with them and other stakeholders on the bill. We were really providing consumer protection language and just wanted to make sure that there weren't misrepresentations around what these can and can't do, particularly what they could do when they can't do it. So we're just making sure that that language is provided and that it's part of the bill. But we just want to say thank you so much to the patron for being open to those suggestions and to all the stakeholders for in support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone here to testify against this bill? All right, we have a couple people online. Are they still there?
Yes.
All right, so, is it? There it is. Mr. Schrock?
Yes, thank you, Chair Sullivan.
Mr. Schrock, you have 1 minute.
Okay, my name is Wesley Schrock, representing brightsaver.org, a nonprofit dedicated to building a plug-in solar movement in the U.S., making solar ownership affordable and accessible to everyone. I am testifying to encourage the committee to pass HB 395 to allow the people of Virginia to access plug-in solar, saving money by reducing their electricity bills. This is a market-driven solution to energy affordability, requiring no tax credits or public funds, or just cutting red tape. As written, HB 395 ensures that plug-in solar systems are safe for consumers and for the grid. Last year, Utah was the first state in the nation to pass this plug-in solar enabling legislation, and already this year, 22 other states have introduced similar legislation. So Virginia would be joining a national movement by passing HB 395. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, no one likes being second, but we'll take it if we have to. Any other comments from members of the panel? Let me just say before I give you the last word, Delegate Krizek, I'm really glad you brought this bill. There's a big conversation going on in Virginia about solar and where to put it and where it fits and where it doesn't fit. And I have said many, many times, both in formal occasions like this and informally, that it's important to me, and I think it's important to the Commonwealth, that all parts of the Commonwealth do their part in this energy transition. And each part of the Commonwealth is going to have a different role to play. And this bill, I appreciate you bringing, because it's going to allow parts of Virginia that have to play a different role, nevertheless be able to play a role in our transition here in Virginia in terms of how we make electricity. So thank you for bringing it. I look forward to it being really successful. Last
Thank
word.
you. I just want to add that, as you saw, we rolled in 2 bills, and also Delegate Oates has worked on this as well. She's going to be chief co on this. I want to thank her for her help, and Chair Lopez and the others who have been strong advocates for this too. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Delegate. Is there a motion?
Move to report with substitute.
There's a motion to report the substitute, properly seconded. Any further conversation? Mr. Clerk, please open the roll.
He walked out of here like he had it.
The bill reports 7-0.
Should have said Bill failed. He'd have turned around.
Don't leave yet. It might change before you. Thank you, Delegate Krizek. He was out of here like a jackrabbit. All right. Who do I see? Delegate Cohen. HB 466.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. First, we have a substitute. It was hot off the presses hours ago. Now it's a little cooler, but I'm hoping that you all have it.
Is there a motion?
Move to adopt the substitute.
Motion on the substitute properly seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? The substitute's before us. Delegate Cohen.
Just to give.
Hold on. Pardon? Okay. We do not have your substitute. How extensive is your substitute?
It is courtesy of the good folks at the SCC, and if you go into the bill where it says there will be a 30-day extension with good cause, we've extended it to a 120-day extension. That's the only change.
So let's make that a line amendment. Do you have a line amendment to offer, Delegate Cohen?
Great, yes,
Right.
I would be so happy to. I sure would love to tell you what line that is.
Well, you can probably direct counsel.
No problem. Mr. Chair, Delegate Cohen, it's line 51 where it says 30 additional days. That can be changed to 120 additional days.
Perfect, yes.
Is there a motion on the amendment?
Yes.
You mind if I just provide?
Hold on.
Sure, not at all.
Do we have it right? Let's let counsel look at it. There are other changes. Well, glad we asked. Thank you, Delegate Wilt. I didn't see him. All right, counsel, do you want to read this for the record?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So on line 50, unstrike 9 months, strike 180 days. Line 50, after, therefore, insert new sentence replacing the current sentence starting with the and ending with elapsed. The new language is, for facilities subject to the requirements of subsection B of section 5646.1, the commission may enlarge such period for 120 days to ensure sufficient review, public participation, and other considerations in the public interest.
So, Delegate, this is the amendment you want to offer.
Yes.
Prevailing side by which we adopted a substitute.
All right, so we're going to reconsider that motion. All in favor of reconsidering the motion on the substitute, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the original bill's back before us. Now you want to offer this as an amendment, correct, Delegate Cohen?
I would be so happy to.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and second to accept Delegate Cohen's amendment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the amended bill is now before us.
Thank you.
Delegate
Now,
Cohen.
officially hot off the presses. Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, House Bill 466 aims to address inefficiencies and uncertainty in transmission infrastructure permit processes. Currently, there's no specific timeline for decisions on submitted applications for transmission line applications. These submissions are a result of years of planning, but contested or difficult transmission projects have faced uncertain, prolonged review periods. Recognizing the critical importance of strengthening the transmission grid, this legislation will impose a shot clock or a concrete timeline of 180 days, 9 months, actually, sorry, with the amendment, to receive a decision on the application, creating a shot clock for this process. This is really important to ensuring businesses and industries like hospitals, solars, Lego factories, that they can understand and adequately predict and forecast timelines driving further investment into the Commonwealth and ultimately result in a transmission grid built to support our continued growth. This is really a confetti bill. That's what we say in our family when you get things right. The SEC is doing this right with the 3-judge panel, so we really are working just to codify the good work that they have done in speeding up the permitting process. But since there is nothing in our code that requires this timeline, this gives everybody, our advocates, people who are for or even against projects, a timeline to really understand what will be happening in that 180 days, or again, with good cause, the extended period that we just referenced.
Thank you, Delegate Cohen. Any questions for Delegate Cohen from members of the panel? Seeing none, is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify in favor of HB 466? Come on down. Don't be shy. You knew I was going to ask. Start walking.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Philip Scranage, AES Clean Energy. Any company that depends on transmission, like an energy generation company, an independent power producer, or a company that's building energy storage devices, benefits from knowing predictably when new transmission will be available. And this bill helps make that process easier to understand. We support the bill. Thanks very much.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Charlie Russ with the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. There's many bills before this assembly, and this bill would provide some certainty for approval of small renewable facilities, which will be an important tool in the toolbox to meet this rising demand. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Nicole Riley representing the Data Center Coalition. We appreciate Delegate Cohen bringing this legislation. For many of our members, they're facing long queue times, and we would certainly hope that this would help speed up that process and, as many have said, provide that certainty. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Dylan Bishop with Wilcox Savage Consulting on behalf of the Heavy Construction Contractors Association, and we are delighted to support the Patrons Bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. Jim Purical from Advanced Energy United, and we support the patron. We support this bill for the reasons stated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify against HB 466? Or we have some people online. Mr. Clerk, can you pull them up? We have in favor, is Mr. Vaughn or Mr. Fakouri online? Mr. Fakouri, you're next. 30 seconds, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'm Ray Fakouri, Energy Policy Manager with Amazon Web Services. We greatly appreciate the sponsors' work on this and look forward to getting some certainty in the code. So thank you, and we support.
Mr. Vaughn is not on. I don't see him. Okay, so is there any? I'm sorry, Ms. Bolthouse, you are testifying against?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Testifying again.
You have 30 seconds, ma'am.
Thank you. Julie Bolthouse with Piedmont Environmental Council. Our utilities are planning massive projects of sizes and designs that have never been built, spanning through a dozen plus counties, connecting gas, coal, and nuclear to deliver power to the data centers proliferating in Northern Virginia along the I-95 corridor down into Henrico. Not only will communities need to live with these transmission lines through their properties and open spaces, they will need to pay for them for years to come. This is not the time to rush. It's the time for thoughtful and careful consideration, please. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Burbank?
Yes, Protect Fauquier and its 1,700 members oppose this bill for the reasons that Julie Bolthouse stated. It's not primarily about solar. It's about railroading through the process major new transmission lines. In our county alone, Dominion has 8 new transmission lines planned and many more in your districts. They would cost billions of dollars and accelerate ratepayer costs. One project is $4.8 billion. It's an anti-affordability bill. Please vote no.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All right, the bill's back before us. Any other questions, comments? Delegate Wilt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Speaking to the bill.
Delegate Wilt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to throw up a no vote. We just want to ruminate the changes and so forth, but conceptually, I'm with you.
Thank you, Delegate. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair, if I might ask a question.
Delegate Shin.
Mr. Chair, I heard the delegate say that this is already practice at the SCC, that it's already at this time frame because we have all three commissioners in their seats. I would worry that in the event that there was a vacancy and they were not able to meet this timeline, that would be a concern. That's one question I have. Is there any flexibility here for that if that is the case?
Sure. My guess would be that would fall under the good cause provision that we just added, which gave them another additional 120 days. So, you're talking about a process in total that winds up being 9 months and then an additional 120 days. So, I would hope that if we're talking about a 1.5-year time span, that our businesses and our communities could get some predictability on whether or not they were going to have an energy transmission line in their community.
Mr. Chair, if I may ask a question to the SEC, because it's a sort of technical-ish. I'm wondering how long, on average, these reviews are taking currently, or if there's a short, recent time span within which you can say, in the last 3 years or so, any sort of metric.
Mr. Chair and Delegation, David Essa with the SCC's Division of Public Utility Regulation. Around about the same time last year, the SCC actually did a study, conducted a letter study at the request of a senator, and it examined about 52 transmission line cases processed over the past 4 years and found that on average it took about 8 months and 8.5 months roughly. So that happens to be the current average.
Great,
based
thank you,
on that
Dr.
study.
Essa.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Essa. Appreciate that. And then, Mr. Chair, there was one other person who commented, I think, and said that the connection queue times, that this would help with that. And I guess I was under the assumption that for connection queues or being on that queue list, it's more of a question for the RTO and or the utility as opposed to the SEC granting approval for that. Would that be correct?
I imagine that what they were referring is that there has been at least a perception of sort of a circular firing squad of who was making the delay, of how that was happening. And so I think the idea behind this, my guess in that comment, was to make sure that if there is some certainty with the timeline of the process of the transmission line, that then the things that follow also would have an understandable timeline.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Shin. Any other questions? Bills before us. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, a motion to report.
Second. As amended.
You meant as amended, didn't you? That's what you meant. We knew it.
Yes, sir.
Right. Motion to report the bill as amended, properly seconded. Clerk will please open the roll. The bill was amended, reports 5-2. Thank you, Delegate Cohen.
Thank you very much.
Delegate Zier, you been here a while. This is HB 766.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This legislation is designed to promote transparency in Virginia's growing solar energy sector by requiring larger electric generating facilities to report actual electricity production and capacity factors annually to the State Corporation Commission, with the SEC compiling and publishing this data publicly. Communities and local governments often face challenges in evaluating proposals based solely on maximum rated capacities because real-world output can differ significantly from nameplate capacity. This leads to local governing bodies being presented with an incomplete picture when considering whether or not to approve these facilities. This bill closes that information gap with straightforward and data-driven accountability. This legislation very simply defines capacity factor as the ratio of actual electric output compared to the maximum possible output based on nameplate capacity. Owners of facilities with at least 1 megawatt nameplate capacity must submit monthly production data and capacity factors for the prior year by January 30. The Commission then compiles and publishes an annual report by May 1, making the information accessible to all Virginians at minimal cost. This creates great value over time. For instance, when a local board reviews a new solar farm proposal, they can reference historical data from similar facilities in neighboring counties to assess the realistic energy contributions, economic projections, and land use implications. The goal is to empower informed decision-making without imposing new restrictions on development, as well as to foster trust between communities, developers, and policymakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Zier. Any questions for the delegate from members of the panel? Delegate Fagans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, is there someone from Dominion here that can answer a question?
I bet there is. There always is. Oh, my goodness. Someone help this man. Mr. Murray, I hope you're okay there.
Bill Murray with Dominion Energy, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Mr. Chair, I had a question in terms of, do existing processes of the SEC already exist to address capacity factors?
Let me just reflect on that for a second. When you do an application for a generation resource called a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, you calculate a net present, I apologize, this is not a 30-second answer, much apologies, Mr. Chairman. You do a...
You work so hard to get up here, we'll give you as much time as you need.
You do a net present value that assumes a capacity factor as part of the economics, and that gets litigated. Every 2 years, the committee's got on its docket a pretty extensive rewrite of the Integrated Resource Plan statute. There, what you're doing is dealing with big blocks of resources like solar. You would count on this percentage on average for solar, gas, that percentage, nuclear, that percentage, and that gets litigated. So there is nothing exactly like what the delegate is proposing, but capacity factor, it's a building block of the economics you have with intermittent resources. On our offshore wind case, there was initially a commission decision to focus on sort of setting a expected production value, and that would affect require guaranteeing the wind. What the case was settled with was instead a cost cap, which we're now, as part of the project construction. So this has come up a lot, not exactly in this form. Sorry for the long answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I would, Mr. Chair, I would just
Delegate Fagans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would state that from what you said, that this is already being discussed at the SEC is basically what you're stating.
Capacity factor is a building block of how you look at the economics of a generation project. So, and little changes can make a difference. But this is something, again, not exactly in a form proposed by the bill, but it is something that you would get on the front end approving it. And then to the extent you've got a proceeding to update the costs, that would be fair game for that proceeding, which would take place annually about, okay, you said it was going to be this and it was that. But again, it would not be a report in exactly the form described here in the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Delegate Kilgore, do you have a question for the delegate or for Mr. Murray?
I would have a question for maybe Arlen or somebody from the State Corporation Commission on this bill to see if
if this capacity factor is readily available somewhere. I don't know who would be the person to ask. I just said your name, Arlen, because I saw you sitting there. Maybe it's not you.
You were
Maybe
in
it's
his line of
somebody
sight.
else.
So a member of staff, Allison Samuel, is online, and she can respond to this question.
Oh, okay.
That's handy. Ms. Samuel, are you there?
Is she there?
No. There she is.
Ms. Samuel, there she is. Welcome, Ms. Samuel. You've been offered up as the person who knows the answer to everything, including this question.
Sorry to not be there in person. I got iced in. We don't collect this specific data currently. We have capacity factors for Dominion and APCO for various resources for different purposes, but this would require every generator to provide their capacity factor and energy. So we don't collect that level of data, and not in this form.
All right, Ms. Samuel, while we have you, how many generators are there? And would this include, for instance, all the diesel generators at data centers? We have over 4,000 of them, I think.
Well, I just did a pretty basic search, and I came up with about 350 at least. But I don't know offhand the exact number without digging further into it.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from members of the panel?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, let's go to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify in favor of this bill? Is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify against this bill? Or we have some people online. Oh, I'm sorry. You all know the drill. You got to get closer.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Blair St. Ledger Olson with the Virginia League of Conservation Voters. Thank you to Bill Murray for answering questions. Thank you to the SEC. With respect to the patron, I do think we were transparent in the introduction of this bill that this bill is intended to slow down solar. Clean energy resources are evaluated on different issues than just capacity factor. So just looking at the sole capacity factor for an evaluation of these projects, which is already getting addressed within the CPCN, as Mr. Murray stated, is going to do harm to our clean energy transition. And so for those reasons, we would oppose the bill. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Josephus Allman with the Southern Environmental Law Center. These are already known quantities for solar and other types of generation. It seems like a big ask to put on our SCC at a time when they have a lot going on. So
Can I ask a question?
Delegate Kigler, who's your question for?
How does this hurt solar, like the last speaker talked? How does it hurt solar if we know about what the capacity is of a solar farm? How would it hurt?
Mr. Chair and Delegate Kilgore, I didn't say it would hurt solar. I just said it sort of, there's already known information. So,
okay.
Yeah, putting a burden on our SCC.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, Walt Shepard, RDC. I would agree that this doesn't hurt solar because this information is indeed already extensively known, extensively documented at the SCC. So I believe the administrative burden for promulgating information that's already known is the juice is not worth the squeeze.
All right. Let's go online. I think we have a couple people to testify here. First in favor, is it Angier?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Angier, you have 30 seconds. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Utility scale solar is marketed to the public based on nameplate capacity and number of homes it will serve. And if you compile the numbers across the state, utility scale solar facilities are running at about 18% of their capacity. The public doesn't know that. The only thing they're aware of is the nameplate capacity and the number of homes that it's supposed to serve. I think it would serve everybody if we had that information to make more informed decisions.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? Ms. Samuel?
No, she's with the SEC. She was the lady.
Oh, I'm sorry. There she is. All right. Delegate Clark.
Oh, I just have a motion at the appropriate time, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Delegate Wilt.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to offer a motion at the appropriate time.
Well, let's listen to
maybe I should go first.
Delegate Clark spoke up first.
Mr. Chair, I move that we lay this on the table.
Second.
I have a motion to lay this bill on the table, properly seconded. Clerk, please open the roll. Members, please record your votes. Motion carries by a vote of 5-2. Thank you, Delegate Zier.
Thank you.
Because he has only one bill to present, we'll go with Delegate McNamara first. Delegate Cole, you'll be next. Delegate McNamara?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee. I have before you House Bill 617, which is a virtual power plant in the Appalachian power generation area. So what is a virtual power plant? What does this bill do? This bill quite simply seeks to lower electric bills for families and efficiently meet electric demands in the Commonwealth. So within our homes, we have a number of devices that can improve our electric grid. Programmable thermostats, electric water heaters, electric cars. All of these can be utilized to put power back onto the grid during peak times. Individually, our individual households cannot generate and contribute. The contribution is not going to be very small, but collectively they operate as a power plant, although it is virtual. This bill is very similar to the bill that we passed last year in the Dominion service area. In the Dominion service area, the pilot allotted for 450 megawatts of generation from these virtual power plants. Again, this is a pilot. In the Appalachian service area, we are looking at 150 megawatts as a phase one utility. That's the bill. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Delegate McNamara.
I have a question.
Yeah, hold on. I just want to get there's all the conversation you saw up here is whether we had taken this bill by for the day. And in the rush to get started, we may have done that. So let's get this back before us. Is there a motion to reconsider? All right, there's a motion to reconsider our vote to take this by for the day. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The bill's back before us. He has finished his presentation. Delegate Kilgore.
I was going to ask Council if did we pass a bill like this for the co-ops, or did it come out of this subcommittee just recently?
Yes, sir. I think it was one meeting ago or the one before.
Committee operates by. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify in favor of this bill?
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, my name is Peter Anderson with Appalachian Voices. I think a lot of folks are really pleased that this policy went into effect last year, and customers of Appalachian Power Territory should also be able to benefit from participating in VPPs as well. So adding clean capacity to the grid and mitigating rising energy bills. So we support the bill, and we thank the delegate for supporting this policy.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Josephus Allman with the Southern Environmental Law Center. Just want to thank the patron for bringing the bill, and glad that this opportunity will be brought to Appalachian Power Company territory, giving families opportunities to reduce their bills by helping the grid. Thanks.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Blair St. Ledger Olson with the Virginia League of Conservation Voters. We do indeed support this bill. We passed a similar piece of legislation last year for Dominion. We do indeed have a bill for APCO, and I believe you will all see a bill as well from new delegate Lily Franklin that has a similar issue before it. So we support this bill, and we'll support that one when it comes to your committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Laura Gonzalez with Clean Virginia, and we support this bill. Thank you.
Is there anyone? Oh, there we go.
Not in opposition, in support. Chris Lahan, South Strategies on behalf of Piedmont Environmental Council. We support the bill.
Anyone opposed to the bill? Anyone online? Oh, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, Amanda Cox with Appalachian Power. We're not opposed to the bill. We've actually been working with the stakeholders. We have requested some amendments and have also been working with Delegate Franklin's office. And I do believe that she has taken the amendments. So I'm just not sure exactly what that looks like, what the next steps are. So happy to work with the bills as they move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I do know that there is a bill that looks a lot like this coming before the committee probably in 2 days. So, Chair, the committee operates by motion.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Will.
Speaking to the bill.
Delegate Will.
In past hearings, multiple times, we have reported legislation knowing that there's still work to be done and so forth. So just keeping that in front of the committee.
Delegate Clark.
Mr. Chair, motion to gently lay this on the table.
Second.
A motion to lay the bill on the table, properly seconded.
Substitute motion.
There is no such thing, but it was a good try. Clerk will please open the roll. Members will please record their votes. Motion passes by a vote of 5 to 2. Thank you, Delegate McNamara.
Thank you, members of the committee and Mr. Chair.
Delegate Cole.
Thank you, Chair. I have two bills to present.
You want to start with 420?
Yes. Chair, I'd like to continue 420 to 2027.
You're asking us to continue the bill to 2027?
Yes, please.
Is there a motion? Second. Motion properly seconded to continue this bill to the next session. This is a recorded vote. Voice vote. Voice vote? Yeah, voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That was quick. Keep going, Delegate Cole.
Yes. Mr. Chair, I have amendments.
HB 422.
Yes, for HB 422. Mr. Chair, I have amendments in the form of a substitute that need to be incorporated.
I have an amendment properly seconded on the substitute. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Amendments, substitutes before us.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Delegate Fagans.
Yes, before the patron starts, I'd also like to offer a friendly amendment.
Why did you ask the delegate whether she considers it a friendly amendment?
Delegate Cole, would you accept a friendly amendment of doing a reenactment clause onto this bill?
Yes. Mr. Chair, yes.
There's a motion to add an enactment clause. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Reenactment clause? Yeah. Reenactment clause. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that amendment is accepted and now part of the bill. The bill's before us. Delegate Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I speak to the substitute?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, the substitution clarifies and provides greater specificity. These amendments define extraordinary circumstances, so corporate structure changes like a merger or acquisition and compliance with federal drinking water and wastewater mandates is clearly within scope when needed without guaranteeing approval. Also, for regulated water utilities, we're requiring the SEC to consider timelines and funding so decisions reflect reality, not just theory. This is also a planning tool for utilities, non-binding, no entitlement, so systems don't waste time and money fouling blind. And lastly, we want to see whether the 3-year cadence is working without harming compliance or service quality. Mr. Chair, and the members of the subcommittee speaking to the bill. Okay. When you meet a constituent and the first thing they tell you is the water bills are so high they only flush for a number 2, that's a problem. HB 422 addresses affordability, transparency, and stability. The existing code that applies to SEC jurisdictional utilities, not municipalities, provides protection for water utilities and their shareholders while subordinating customers who have no choice for competitive services, basic need for affordable water and wastewater services. Currently, repeated rate increases are passed on to customers without consideration of internal costs, cutting, and efficiencies. Protections for customers require us to prioritize affordability over profits. Customers are struggling with monthly water bills of $105 for a one-person household and $130 for a 2,100 square foot home, and increases that consume over 60% of annual Social Security fixed income cost of a living adjustments. Honestly, shareholder expectations for return should not be the responsibility of customers. HB 422 prohibits a regulated utility authorized to furnish water and sewer service from filing an application for a rate increase more frequently than once in any 3-year period, provides for mitigating circumstances like a temporary emergency increase in rates or for an increase for extraordinary circumstances. This is the fix. This limitation will not only help control the exponential increases in water and sewer rates themselves, but also the cost and time associated with having to participate in increasingly frequent litigation before the Commission, the costs of which are borne by the customers. A triennial rate case limitation would provide both respondents like the county and SCC more time with set predictable rates before they are once again submitted for adjustment, and hold regulated water monopolies accountable for better operational and fiscal planning management. If the committee has any questions, I will turn it over to Christopher McKenzie of Sands Anderson, representing Caroline County.
Thank you, Delegate Cole. Any questions of Delegate Cole from members of the Commission? Delegate Will.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what's the gist of your substitute from the original bill? What have you changed?
What changed was to provide some more detail on what extraordinary circumstances are that would allow for a rate case submission within the 3-year period of time.
Follow-up question, Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Will.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So do you have a concern, you cited some figures, monthly figures and whatnot. Do you have a concern that if this is enacted, so the already, what you're describing already high bill, if any increases get put off, unless these extraordinary circumstances occur, you put them off for 3 years, then it's time to recoup. I mean, that would seem to me that it would be an extraordinarily high bill. So do you have a concern about that?
So the bill speaks to the water and wastewater companies being able to plan better. One of the things that, in speaking with them, that they do is a 5-year business plan that they can manage within this time period their cost efficiencies, so that when there are cost increases, it's not just that they are passed on to the customer, that they are able to look at their financial management of their costs and determine within that how to manage their costs so that they don't just continue to pass them on to the customer.
Delegate Shin.
Mr. Chair, speaking to the bill.
Well, let's, do you want to do that now? Let's see if there's any testimony.
Okay, I was going to try and answer Delegate Wilt's
Go ahead.
question.
Okay.
But I would offer that it's not different from the other triennial rate cases that we ask other utilities to go before the SEC with. So I don't know that that's, and the SEC would still approve costs. I'm not sure that it would necessarily hold off a bunch of costs until the 3-year rate case goes through. All
right, is there anyone in the audience who wants to testify in favor of this bill? That's a long line. I'm going to say 30 seconds, sir.
Okay, I'm going to try my hardest. Jeff Black, Caroline County Board of Supervisors, Western Carolina District. Over the past 15 years, we have seen Aqua Virginia ask for multiple rate cases. We have seen rates continuously climb, now with the potentially to increase over to $250 a month for 5,000 gallons of water and sewer. I believe we have not seen improved water quality or better service. Over Memorial Day weekend, most of the members of my community were without water for most of the weekend, and Aqua's response was a $5 credit.
Keep going, sir.
If you do a simple Google search about Aqua Virginia, you'll find multiple news stories from across the Commonwealth about bad service, poor water quality, and unreasonable rates. We are asking you for your help, and so will help us with affordability, transparency, and stability. So thank you for your time, Chair Sullivan and esteemed members.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Everyone else can move up a little closer. Saving us seconds here.
Mr. Chair, Fluvanna County Board of Supervisors, Tony O'Brien, Chair. I represent the district which uses 30% of, Aqua is 35%. I'm sorry, 35% of the county, of our homes are Aqua's customer. The bills are $200 and some plus per month. They're now requesting a 30% increase. That puts them at $300. If you look at the cost to a homeowner, they're going to look somewhere else. When 91% of our tax revenue comes from homeowners, from property bills, their property bills, that means that the county will have to raise taxes ultimately because of decreased values. This is not just an issue about a predatory company charging too much. It's a compounding interest that's going to ruin our county.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Dan Whitten, County Attorney from Fluvanna County. So Aqua has approximately 15,000 customers in the county, which represents the majority of the county and all of the residents in Lake Monticello. The impact of the rate increase would fall disproportionately on single-family residential customers in the county. And in Fluvanna County, there's been 4 sanitary sewer overflows just since the last rate increase was approved in September 2024. All those events were associated with Aqua. A triennial rate case limitation would make it easier for families to budget for water and sewer rate increases. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lurch.
Joe Lurch speaking on behalf of VACO. This is now in our legislative platform to have policies and goals that address affordable, reliable, and service for private providers. I will note, I think with the reenactment clause, this is not a delayed enactment clause. This does not become law July 1st should this pass. I think it would have to come back next year. And I think for the members that you just heard of, they're needing some relief now. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, my name is Chris McKenzie. I'm with Sands Anderson in that capacity as service county attorney for Caroline County, and we are here in support of this bill. We believe it'll improve transparency and stability for water and sewer rates for the citizens of Caroline and elsewhere. They're seeing dramatic increases in those rates over years. We think a triennial rate limitation will produce stability and allow the citizens to budget more effectively without imperially harming the business model of these utilities. So we would urge support from this subcommittee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone here who wants to testify against HB 422? Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't see you there, Dana.
Dana Wiggins with the Virginia Poverty Law Center. We want to thank the delegate for the bill and understand the intent of the bill. I think having the delayed enactment absolutely helps to kind of figure out like how this would work and sort of make sure that it will work for folks. Or I guess it's a reenactment. But that said, I think it's just a balance. We want to make sure that people are saving money as much as they possibly can. And it's water is such an essential service that we do want to make sure that it is created to be affordable for people because of obvious reasons. That said, there's also the balance of investments that can get made to make sure that water is safe and that those improvements to the system get made. So I think it's a balance. We support the intent of the bill and the bill, but we also acknowledge that there's some work to kind of figure out how we can balance the needs of investment in the infrastructure versus the cost of the utility. But definitely, you know, we hear from so many people about how much it costs, and it's devastating. So we thank the delegate.
Anyone here to testify against HB 422?
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, I'm Chris White here on behalf of Aqua Virginia. I wouldn't say I'm now here to testify against the bill. I want to thank the patron for bringing the bill forward and having constructive conversations with the industry over the course of the last couple of weeks. It is a very complicated issue. The substitute, as amended, I think provides an opportunity for that bill to go forward, and we look forward to continuing to work with the delegate on these very critical and important issues in her area. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Miles Laurie on behalf of Virginia American Water. Just want to echo Mr. White's comments. We're looking forward to continuing the discussion with the patron. Thank you.
Here we have some online testimony. Ms. Taylor? Ms. Taylor, you are still muted. We cannot hear you, ma'am. I tell you what, while you try to work that out, how about we try Ms. Lombardi? 30 seconds, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Melanie. Hi, my name is Melanie Lombardi. I come to you as a concerned citizen of Caroline County. We have had indiscrepancies with our water quality here in Lake Landor specifically. The community serves also another county, a lake, which is Lake Caroline. And as mentioned, Lake Monticello is being serviced as well. I moved here in 2017. There's not only brown water that's been documented in CBS News and inconsistencies throughout Lake Heritage, but the same indiscrepancies that are happening have caused us to do testing at our own homes, and we're finding higher than regulated levels of chlorine. There's
All right, Ms. Lombardi, I've got to ask you to finish up, okay?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So my main concern is, as a concerned citizen, is that there is a merger that's currently happening. And with these rate increases and how we have our citizens here in Caroline on fixed incomes or retired.
All right, Ms. Lombardi, I really need you to finish up.
I would ask you to please consider approving this to help those residents.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lombardi. Ms. Taylor, have you been able to figure out your mute? I thought so too. There you go. There you are. Yes, ma'am. 30 seconds, Ms. Taylor.
My name is Pamela Taylor. I am a resident of Lake Landor in Caroline County, Virginia. I am the one who's been helping the residents through this critical time of water and prices, and working on their bills to help them out. So just a quick summary. We support the bill 420, 422 because they put needs of the families ahead of the profit of the private utilities. The utility companies know they're in complete control of us. They're the only ones that serve us. We can't compare, we can't negotiate, we can't win. We want to bring our water back to the public hands. We aren't.
Ms. Taylor, I need you to wrap up, please, okay?
Okay. Oh, yes, sir. Real quick. And they guarantee that once the rate is set, it stays set at least 3 years, giving us the protection and predictability that we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Thank you. All right, any other questions for Delegate Cole? Delegate Fagans.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to say thank you to the patron. I know the patron has worked incredibly hard over the past few weeks to not only just work with people in the industry, but most importantly, listen and act upon the wishes of her constituents and so many across. And so the patron should definitely be commended for the amount of work she has put into this bill.
Thank you. We operate by motion.
Motion to report with substitute as amended.
All right, so there's a motion to report the substitute as amended, which does include that reenactment clause. Delegate Kilgore?
Mr. Chairman, I've been around a while. I know how these reenactment clauses go, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not going to see the reenactment clause taken off when it comes back from the Senate or from the governor. If that's the intent, I just want to know going in that that's the intent, and then I can vote accordingly. Otherwise, I'd vote for it if the reenactment clauses stay on.
Well, I can't predict the future, but what I heard here was an intention to use the next year to try to come to some resolution. Is that right, Delegate Cole?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Clerk will please open the roll. Substitute reports by a vote of 6-1. Thank you, Delegate Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Delegate Carlson? This is HB 628.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. You're going to have to bear with me. It's late in the evening. This bill is complex, so I'm just going to read on my sheet. It's one
This is
sheet.
when we do our best work late in the evening.
It is not when I do mine. So I'm going to read so that I don't miss anything.
Go ahead.
House Bill 628 improves upon a bill that this body passed unanimously last session. It increases the amount of solar that we're placing on rooftops and the built environment. In 2020, the Clean Economy Act created a 1% carve-out for distributed solar projects within the renewable portfolio standard. It also created a carve-out of 200 megawatts for projects on previously developed project sites, which includes commercial and industrial sites, brownfields, landfills, parking lots, and quarries. We want more solar on rooftops and on previously developed project sites as we meet our clean energy goals, and that's exactly what this bill does. The substitute, which I would like to ask for the committee to accept. Sorry, should have started with that. There's a substitute.
Substitute.
There's a move to adopt the amendment, properly seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, the amendment's before us.
Great. So the substitute raises a carve-out for distributed solar projects from 1% to 4.5% from 2026 to 2030, and up to 5% from 2031 to 2045. In 2033, the substitute directs the SCC to open a proceeding to adjust the carve-out going forward. The substitute also adds back in a 4-year extension to the strategic undergrounding program, which was present in the bill last year, but taken out mistakenly during the sewer process. I don't know if we're supposed to call it the sewer, SEUR. In addition, this bill allows power purchase agreements for all Virginians, providing families and small businesses with additional options for clean energy. It also significantly expands the carve-out on previously developed project sites from 200 megawatts to 1,000 megawatts. These changes help reduce impacts to important natural resources by shifting thousands of acres worth of solar development to rooftops and previously disturbed sites. Perhaps most importantly, it has important protections for ratepayers. By allowing more third-party development on distributed projects, risks to ratepayers are minimized. And unlike customer-owned residential solar projects, PPA projects are still eligible for the federal investment tax credit for the next 2 years, allowing for significant cost savings. In addition, the bill delays the Clean Economies Act in-state requirement from 2025 to 2027. This avoids any potential deficiency payments being passed on to ratepayers. In conclusion, this bill gets more solar in the places where we all agree it should go, while also providing important benefits to ratepayers. I hope the subcommittee reports this bill favorably.
Any questions for Delegate Carlson from members of the panel? Did I hear you say this passed unanimously last year?
I believe that's correct.
All right, anybody, you know what I'm going to ask. Anyone here testify in favor of this bill? Really quickly for this unanimous bill. Yeah. Tell us who you are.
Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee, Josephus Allman with the Southern Environmental Law Center. Can't say it any better than Delegate Carlson did. We support this bill.
Good.
Martha Moore, Virginia Farm Bureau, we support.
All right, yeah, keep going. I'm getting pressure here.
Anderson
Up here.
Appalachian Voices
Keep
supports.
moving.
Virginia LCV supports.
All of you who want to oppose it, get in line.
Trias Lockwood, representing Sun Tribe and Recmont. We have about 14,000 small-scale projects. We support the bill.
Yeah, good.
Mr. Chair, Chrissy Noonan with Seven Hills on behalf of Dominion. Appreciate the patron work with us on the amendments. We look forward to watching the bill work through the process.
She said representing Dominion. That's great. Go ahead.
Ryan O'Toole of Freedom, Virginia. We support the bill.
Abigail Thompson, Chesapeake Solar and Storage Association. We support.
Hey, Phil.
Phil Abraham, representing Virginia Association for Commercial Real Estate. We support the bill.
Victoria Higgins, Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. We support the bill.
Jim Puri, Cal Advanced Energy United. We support.
Lena Lewis with the Nature Conservancy. We support.
Thank you. Everybody here testify against? There is no one. Any questions for Delegate Carlson? Any motions?
Might be my best
A
bill I've
motion to
ever
report
done.
properly seconded. With amendment, there are some people online. Can we put them online quickly? Scared them away. Darn. All right, let's vote. All right, deja vu all over again. It is unanimous again, 7-0. Thank you, Delegate Carlson.
Thank you.
Delegate Kilgore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have House Bill 633, the sewer name change bill, which renamed the Commission on Electric Utility Regulation as the Energy Commission of Virginia. But I think that's where we're going to stop with your amendment. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman? You're going to move that the bill from line 14 on we're just going to do away with. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm going to make a motion by the chair here. I'll be looking for let me do it this way. I would be looking for a motion to delete everything in the bill except lines 17 through 23.
Okay.
17 through the word state government.
Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Other times it's mentioned.
So here's what we'll do. The motion is, because council is alerting me that there are other places where this might be mentioned. Delegate Kilgore has it right. The motion I'm looking for is to amend the bill in a manner that will change the name of the CEUR to the Energy Commission of Virginia, and that will be the entire bill. So if it's, can I get such a motion? Second. Move and second, properly second, all in favor? So that amendment is before us, and we'll make sure those amendments are made certainly in time for the full committee on Thursday.
So with that amendment, I don't know if anybody wants to get up and, I don't know, Mr. Chairman, if anybody wants to get up and support the change of the.
Well, no one likes the name sewer. We know that.
Yeah. Everybody.
No one who has a vote likes the name sewer.
So that's the bill.
All right, that is the bill. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second. Move to report as amended.
Hold on. Do you want to testify? You do?
I like it.
You like it. Okay, good.
Yeah, I wouldn't speak now.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, Patrina Jones-Robleski of Columbia Gas of Virginia. We very much support this amendment. We would have come here today to pose if we had many concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Tyler, go ahead.
All right.
Man's entitled to speak.
Mr. Chairman, Dylan Bishop, on behalf of the Virginia Oil and Gas Association, we support the bill and thank you for your motion and for the patrons' help. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. All right, we have a motion to report the amendment properly seconded. Clerk will please open the roll.
Substitute.
All right, the motion is to report the substitute. Well, the clerk's going to redo the board. Why don't you make the motion again, Delegate Shin?
I move to report with substitute.
Second.
All right, there's a motion to report the substitute properly seconded. Our clerk is working to get it up on the board.
We're sub.
All right, the motion passes 7-0. All right, I'm going to save time, I'm just going to present for here. I have 3 bills I'm hoping can move quickly through the committee, and I'll hand it over to Delegate Shin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please resume your speak. And we'll start with House Bill 323, if that works for you, Delegate Sullivan.
It sure does. So, members of the committee, the impact of data centers in our state and in our communities has become one of, if not the biggest issue facing our communities in our state. HB 323 presents an opportunity to create positive impacts from the data centers that are coming to Virginia and data centers that are already here. We all know that data centers produce enormous amounts of heat. They're basically giant heat pumps, and that heat can be captured and used. This kind of technology is being used all around the world in certain parts of our country, but it's not being used here in the United States. here in Virginia, and it should be. The heat from a data center, if we just think about it in advance and engineer it in the proper way, can be used to heat the factory that might be across the street or the school that might be down the street. And I choose those two examples because, as a matter of fact, there might be two such opportunities here in Virginia already. There's going to be a data center down in Goochland, and if my information is correct, it's going to be practically across the street from the new Eli Lilly pharmaceutical plant. And pharmaceutical plants are the kind of heat user that's perfect for a data center's heat that might be next door. In my neck of the woods up in Fairfax County, there's a data center that's going to go in very near the new high school and middle school in Fairfax County, and FCPS, I'm sure, would love to heat its schools with that heat. The pool at the Paris Olympics was heated by a data center. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we ought to be more intentional about it here in Virginia. This is not going to work in every circumstance. I'm not suggesting that, but we ought to be looking for, encouraging, maybe even incentivizing, finding circumstances where this kind of thing can happen because it not only reduces everybody's footprint, but it actually reduces the load that the data center demands, sometimes by as much as 30%. I was on a panel recently talking about this, and the folks who do this for a living made very clear that the technology is not the issue. They've got that figured out. It's the policy encouragement that they need from states like Virginia. So that's what this bill does. HB 323 simply tasks the Department of Energy with leading an effort to figure out how we can accelerate the use of waste heat from data centers here in Virginia and use it in positive ways that will actually help its nearby community and lower its load footprint. That's the bill, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Sullivan. Delegate Sullivan, might there be a substitute for this?
And you would be right. There is a substitute.
Can I get a motion? So moved. Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of the substitute, say aye. Great. The substitute is properly before us. And I'm going to open it up to the audience to see if there's anyone in the room who would like to testify in support of House Bill 323. Continuing Delegate Sullivan's tradition of just 30 seconds, please.
Yes, absolutely. Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Nicole Riley with the Data Center Coalition. We appreciate Delegate Sullivan bringing this bill. As he mentioned, this is a technology that data centers are leaning into. It has been successful in Europe. However, really the challenge here in Virginia is mostly on the infrastructure. It takes a lot of coordination at the local and state level with that infrastructure foresight and coordination and funding. And so we think this is an appropriate approach to look at the opportunities and see where we can make some movement on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Victoria Higgins, Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund. We believe there's no reason to waste heat that could be put to good use, so we appreciate the patron. We support the bill. Thanks.
Thank you, Vic. Is there anyone? Oh, wait, no worries.
This is what happens when I negotiate too many bills at the same time. Blair St. Ledger Olson with Virginia LCV. We support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the room who would like to testify in opposition to House Bill 2323? Seeing none, it's back before the committee. Are there any questions from committee members? Oh, I'm so sorry. There are people online. Could we go to the folks online, please, Mr. Clerk? Okay, I see Ms. Dixon.
Hello, yes, Anna Dixon with David Gardner and Associates, a climate and clean energy consulting firm based in Arlington. We support this bill and thank the patron.
Thank you for joining us today. I think that's everyone online. Is that correct? Anyone? Okay. Okay, so we're back before the committee. Are there any questions from committee members? Seeing none.
Move to report with substitute.
There's a great motion to report with substitute and a second. Mr. Clerk, if you would please open up the rolls. Mr. Clerk, if you'd please close the rolls. That motion passes 6-0. Delegate Sullivan, might I pass the gavel back to you as we have Delegate Herring in the room?
Yes, you may. Delegate Herring, you're up. Delegate Herring has HB 828.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There is actually, I have an amendment, a line amendment. It's small, but I think it will take care of some concerns that have been brought to me.
Mr. Chair, Delegate Herring, the line amendment is to line 67 after Commonwealth. Insert that the provisions of this act shall become effective on July 1, 2027.
Is there a motion on the amendment? Second. Amendment's properly moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The bill as amended is before us. Delegate Herring. Excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill comes at the recommendation of the Commission on Electric Utility Regulation. It would create a public dashboard on electric utility disconnections maintained by the SCC on their website and require Dominion and Appalachian Power and electric co-ops to report monthly data to the SCC on residential customers who are involuntarily disconnected due to non-payment, including the total number of disconnections, the number of disconnected customers within each zip code, amounts of arrearages as a result of led up to the disconnection, the length of time before customers are reconnected, the disconnected customers who are in payment assistance programs here in the Commonwealth, the number of customers in arrears but not yet disconnected. The data on the dashboard would be separated by each utility, and the SCC would also be required to report annually to CURE in the governor's office on the disconnection trends, including seasonal or long-term trends and amounts of arrearages owed by disconnected customers. The goal of the bill is to increase transparency on utility disconnections in Virginia so it's easier to monitor them and find ways to reduce their frequency over time. Increasing transparency on disconnections is particularly important at a time when utility rates are increasing and affordability is a significant concern. Right now, electric utilities are reporting some disconnection data to the SCC on a monthly basis, but the data is not readily available to the General Assembly or the public. Key information on disconnections, as well as regions and areas like by zip code, are reported, and the information is aggregated across all utilities, which limits the usefulness of the reporting. We can't effectively address this issue when key data is missing or unavailable. So I hope it is the will of the committee to report this bill. And Mr. Chair, I just do want to point to the amendment. It's a delayed enactment, so that way it will allow SEC some time to get the dashboard set up, and then we also avoid a fiscal impact as well. You will probably hear concern from our cooperatives here in Virginia, but they will provide them an opportunity to petition the SEC to provide the data that's required by Section B6 of the bill on a different reporting schedule if necessary. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Herring. Are there any questions from members of the panel for Delegate Herring? Seeing none, anyone in the audience who wants to testify in favor of this fine bill? Don't make Mr. Murray walk up here.
Mr. Chairman, Bill Murray on behalf of Dominion, we support the bill.
Mr. Chairman, Amanda Cox with Appalachian Power, and we support the bill.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Dana Wiggins with the Virginia Poverty Law Center. Thank you so much, Delegate Herring, for bringing the bill. We believe that a lot of this information is already collected, but we are very appreciative of the zip code level data, that it's in the aggregate. It's not very specified, very small, very specific. We don't want people to be targeted, and we're thankful for working with us on that in the bill. But we are very aware that the zip code level data will help us be on par with a lot of other states and allow that information to be available for reducing disconnections, which we have been wanting to do for some time. So thank you.
Anyone want to testify against? Anyone want to testify against the bill? Is Ms. Griffin still on the line? So Ms. Griffin is online. Ms. Griffin, you have 30 seconds, ma'am. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. My name is Tanisha Griffin, and I'm the Environmental Policy Analyst with New Virginia Majority. We also support 8 228, and more or less similar to what Dana Wiggins was mentioning. We are happy to see this bill because it can create more transparency and accessing information about customers who are experiencing services connections, and we think this can help us create more informed policy decisions around reducing energy insecurity in the state. So we hope you all will support, and we thank Delegate Herring for bringing it forward. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Delegate, last word.
I just hope to have your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any further conversation or motions from the committee? I have a motion to, hold on. Everybody hang on, where the lawyers are huddling. Council.
Mr. Chair, I believe one additional amendment would be good to accommodate this change, and that's on the original bill on line 47. There's a mention of September 1, 2026. So let's do that.
Move that to 2027 as
Yes,
well.
please,
You comfortable with
yes.
that, Madam Chair or Madam Leader?
Yes, yes.
All right. So the motion has been properly made to report and seconded to report the bill as amended as described by Delegate Herring and now Council. Any further discussion? Delegate Wilt.
We need to adopt that last amendment to get it part of the original amendment.
I move to adopt that amendment.
Okay, we can do it that way too. I think that works. Sure. So there's the Council described the amendment to Delegate, the additional amendment. Delegate Shin has moved. Anyone second it? Properly seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So that amendment is now before us along with the other amendment. Does that turn it into a substitute, Council? No. No. Okay. So as amended, there's a motion. All right. We have a motion to report, properly seconded, the amended bill. Please open the roll. Bill reports 6-0.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chair
Delegate.
and members. Thank you.
All right, we'll pass this back to Delegate Shin for my two bills, but I assure everyone they are related.
Thank you, Delegate Sullivan. 807, you want to take that one up first?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. So just background for both bills. These are both shared solar bills. And those people who have been on this committee or around the General Assembly for several years understand that shared solar is Virginia's words for what the rest of the world calls community solar, and it refers to small or mid-scale solar developments that can be no more than 5 megawatts, and they're located on anywhere from 30 to 50 acres of private land, commercial rooftops, landfills, brownfields, or other industrial sites. They are shared by subscribers in nearby communities who receive a credit on their bill, their electric bill, for their share of the power produced from that solar facility. And this essentially provides a cost-effective solution for customers who want to access clean energy but can't locate solar on their own homes because they might rent or live in an apartment building or have roofs that can't have a solar system. So what HB 807 does is builds on the program in the Dominion part of the state that we first established in 2021, which created a 200 megawatt program. And since then, all 200 megawatts have been fully awarded across 52 projects. In 2024, we passed an expansion of that program and authorized an additional 150 megawatts. And currently, over a dozen shared solar projects are on the wait list to enter that program. So what 807 does is two important things, Madam Chair. First, it expands the Dominion shared solar program and directs the SEC to approve 525 megawatts of capacity by July 1, 2026. Second, it provides the authority to the SEC for future expansions of shared solar, avoiding the need for stakeholders to come back to us again when the program hits capacity. There's no risk of cost shift here. There exists now a minimum bill established by the SEC that subscribers have to pay to ensure other non-subscriber ratepayers don't bear any undue costs. There's an exemption to this minimum bill for low-income customers, but 807 limits the amount of low-income customers that may participate, thus mitigating any cost shifts. Developers have worked very closely with Dominion on this legislation. I appreciate everyone working so hard on it. There is peace in the valley on 807, and I hope it'll be the pleasure of the body to approve the bill. Okay. All that stuff I just said described the substitute, which Delegate Shin is going to move.
So moved.
There's a motion to adopt the substitute and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great. And now we have the substitute properly before us. I'm going to open it up to see if there are folks in the audience who would like to speak in support of 807. If so, please come forward.
Remember that peace in the valley I described?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the subcommittee, Chris McDonald with Williams Mullen on behalf of the Coalition for Community Solar Access. We're the leading trade association for shared solar or community solar developers and businesses, including the 27 active member companies in Virginia. We're grateful to the patron on this legislation, as well as all the stakeholders who worked on this. This has really been multiple years in the making, and we're excited this will really usher in a new chapter for community solar in Virginia.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you.
Could we get 30 seconds back on the clock? For speakers, thank you, Mr. McDonald. Good afternoon.
Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee, Josephus Allman with the Southern Environmental Law Center. We've been involved in these shared solar dockets since they were created a few years ago, and this is a great program expansion that will get projects online quickly. We support the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Almond. Good afternoon.
Madam Chair, Rachel Henley with Virginia Farm Bureau. We're very appreciative of the opportunity for smaller solar installations across the Commonwealth. We're in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Thomas Turner, Conservatives for Clean Energy, and we support the bill.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone in the room who would like to speak against this piece in the Valley bill? No. Mr. Chair, we've got a couple of folks online. Maybe one person online?
Yeah, just one.
Just one. Okay, great. Hello.
Hi, this is Charlie Cogshaw with the Coalition for Community Solar Access. I'm just echoing Chris and just here to answer any technical questions that might come up. We do support or appreciate the patron, Chair Sullivan, as well as the constructive engagement by the utilities.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us. That's all of the testimony. I'm going to bring it back to the committee to see if anyone has questions. And then we operate by motion.
Motion to report with substitute.
Second. There's a motion to report with substitute and properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, if you would please open up the roll. If you would please close the roll, Mr. Clerk. Thank you. Delegate Sullivan, Mr. Chair, that reports 6-0. Your final bill, House Bill 809.
Last bill of the night, 809. There is a substitute.
We've got our substitute properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, okay, great. The substitute is properly before us. Delegate Sullivan.
Thank you, Council. Can you just give a real quick, what's the substitute to?
No problem. Madam Chair, Delegate Sullivan, the substitute includes provisions to expand the shared solar program by releasing an additional 50 megawatts as part 2 and 3 of the program. That's around line 98 of the substitute. After that, to petition the SCC to determine the capacity for part 4 of the program. It also adds a second enactment clause explaining more details about that proceeding, and a 1-year effective date delay for the provisions of subdivision F15 about net crediting functionality. Thank you so much, Council.
Thank you, Council. So briefly, Madam Chair, I'll just add, in addition to the background I gave with respect to the other shared solar bill, I'll just remind people that in 2024, we created a small shared solar program in Appalachian Power Territory. That program was capped at 50 megawatts and did not provide any exemption to the minimum bill, just so that to ensure there was no cost shifting. As council says, this bill now increases the availability and gives more authority to the SCC. It also fixes the existing billing format issue for shared solar, which is called the net crediting. What net crediting means is a customer receives one billing statement, a net statement reflecting the subscription fee they pay, as well as the total bill credit that they receive for their share of the power generated. This legislation will provide the utility adequate time to update their billing system and make this change. Again, I want to say the proponents have worked very hard with the utility to establish this expansion and the net crediting fix, and I appreciate everyone's participation, both with the utility and with the advocates, and that's the bill, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Sullivan. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, we'll go to the audience and see if there are folks in the room who'd like to speak in support. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chris McDonald, on behalf of the Coalition for Community Solar Access. Once again, we thank the patron and thank all the stakeholders for their diligent work on this over the last several months, as well as the last several weeks in earnest. We're pleased to support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Good afternoon.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Peter Anderson with Appalachian Voices. We appreciate the stakeholders working together to expand this program for Appalachian Power customers, and we appreciate the patron bringing the bill we support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Good afternoon.
Hey, Madam Chairwoman, Rachel Henley with Virginia Farm Bureau. We're in support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Thomas Turner, Conservatives for Clean Energy. We support the bill.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Josephus Allman with the Southern Environmental Law Center. We support the bill.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the room who would like to oppose this bill? Seeing none, are there any folks online?
Same gentleman's online.
Same gentleman. Okay. We're going to make note that Mr. Charlie
Coggeshall was just here to answer questions.
Great. Okay. Excellent. Then we are back before the committee, and the committee operates by motion.
Motion to report with amendment?
Motion to report with substitute. Second. There's been a motion and a second to report with substitute. Mr. Clerk, if you'd please open up the roll. That House Bill 809 reports 6-0. Thank you, Delegate Sullivan.
Thank you, Delegate Shin. Thank you, Delegate Shin. That completes our business. We are adjourned. See you all Thursday.